Welcome to Rock Your Talk with Leisa Reid. I have our expert Marnie Swedberg here today to share some really cool tips with you. A little bit about me and the show. I'm the founder of Get Speaking Gigs Now, where I help speakers attract their ideal clients through speaking, learn how to get booked and stay booked, which is a big dream for most speakers. They want to get on more stages and get booked on a consistent basis. I'm also a part of the team at Productive Learning at productivelearning.com, where we offer self-mastery. We've been teaching really awesome personal development workshops for 28 years now, and we continue to do so, adding some virtual components to our catalog and really helping a lot of people make better decisions, really get connected to their potential, get connected to like how do they want to utilize their higher conscious thinking to make a more extraordinary life for themselves. So lots of exciting things are happening. And today I'm super excited to have Marnie here with us. Hello, Marnie. Welcome.
Hey, great to be here.
She's in the woods, she's got
I'm
the
in
forest,
the
the
woods.
forest.
Not lost in the woods, I hope.
No, you're the guiding light in the woods. So tell us a little bit about you, Marnie.
Yeah, so I homeschooled our kids. We owned a restaurant, a real estate or a retail store for many years, as well as I host currently womenspeakers.com. Been doing that since 2002. You and I are on the same kind of journey, helping speakers to get ready, get booked, and get found, get found to get booked. And so excited to be here with you today.
Yeah, it's a great time. And there's so many voices out there right now, like for women speakers, and really like highlighting how can we I would say even unlearn some of the things we learned when we were kids, of like, be quiet and be agreeable and don't, rock the boat, don't share and don't, it's like, no, wait, how do we find that voice? How do we have that confidence to share our expertise, share who we are, share something that we can help other people with? And that's just such a important journey to be on. So I'm excited that we are sisters in arms doing that. For
Absolutely.
everybody. So I know you have a few tips that you're going to share with us. Would you mind sharing your first tip?
Yeah, absolutely. So the first thing I think about as I host womenspeakers.com, which is the largest directory of its kind in the world. We have over 1,200 speakers there, and planners come and they're looking for a speaker for their Christian women's event. So that's the niche that we're in. And when they come, what they're looking for first is congruence. So whatever you have going on at womenspeakers.com, that's what you need to also have going on at your own website, at your Facebook page, at your LinkedIn page. It shouldn't be several different personas. It should be one persona. So I see you consistently all across all of your channels. I don't have any of this like, where did that come from or whatever. There should be that consistent branding and congruency. And so that's actually my first red flag, Lisa. When I get a new speaker that's considering coming with us to help them promote their speaking availability, I like to check that congruency first, because that's going to be the first thing that's a red flag for a planner. She comes and you say you're this here, and you say you're this there, and you say you're something else over here. You tie it all together and make sure that you're either everything to everybody everywhere, or else that you're the one thing that you're trying to be. But don't try to be multiple things to multiple people. It just doesn't work.
I hear what you're saying. And sometimes that can even be just as simple as I'll offer this using like canva.com or a Canva tool to make sure all your banners are consistent on different. This is from like a non-graphic designer person, right? Like, and all of a sudden I'll have this logo, and then I'm like, oh, I can go on here. And then I'm like, wait, Twitter's not the same as LinkedIn's not the same as this one. And all of a sudden you're like really confused as a speaker, because now you're having to do some digital marketing that maybe you weren't anticipating.
Even finding one photo, one picture whether it's a picture of you speaking or whatever the picture is of. It could be like one of mine that I use often is a seascape, that's just a seashore, and it's just peaceful and calm. And it's like getting out of the everyday hassle of your head and getting a new perspective, taking a vacation, getting new perspective. So whatever it is that works for you, that actually pulls it all together, that's what you're wanting to do, is you're wanting to pull this all together and have this be something that I feel like I can trust you from the moment I see your stuff.
Right. That's great. I love that. Yeah. And just clear, right? Like clear.
Crystal clear. So one of my coaches early on, I so recommend getting coaching anytime you can. It's going to just really make your journey from not being booked to being booked go so much faster if you get coaching. So whether you hire a consistent coach or whether you get coaching as you see a need. But one of my early coaches taught me the phrase, don't make me think. So as you're thinking about the planner who's considering you as a speaker, of course she's going to think. She's got to find you. She's got to decide but your job is to make it so simple to have her just come to your... Yeah, make it super easy. Don't give me a ton of choices. Don't make me look for stuff. Have it be right there for me. The easier it is, the more likely a planner will reach out to you.
That's a great tip. Yes, I love that. And I loved we'll do a little behind the scenes if you don't mind. Like Marnie has this really great one sheet, if you will, which is different than a speaker sheet, which, different, but it's basically like all your social media links really done nicely, all in one spot. Here's why you would go to that, and very clean, very easy to read. I was like, oh, I want one of these. Like, really
so
nice.
Because I speak to Christians groups, I speak to business groups, and I speak to pastor leader groups. So women's, business, and pastor leader. So I have like 3 audiences. And plus my first book was Kitchen Shortcuts, and I've written the handbook for the scavenger hunt. I mean, I'm all over the board.
Wait,
and
what's
a lot
the
of you can
hunt book? What?
Scavenger hunt book. Yeah.
Oh,
so I'm all over the board. And so some of you can really relate to that. And you're like, well, how do I keep it simple if I'm all over the board, if I've got all of this to offer? Well, the reality is that you're you, and that's okay. So just make it all be congruent. Make it all be. So mine are all how-to. That's everything I do is a how-to. Either it's how to get closer to God, or how to host a big party on cheap, or it's all how-to. And so that's my genre, is how-to. Whatever you are, just make sure that it's congruent, and that when I find you and when I see stuff by you, it's like all the same. Like I'm not cursing and telling horror stories over here and then pretending I'm a Christian over here. It's all congruent. It's all the same. Whatever you read of me, it's all the same.
Beautiful. I love that. I love when we can be that creative and organized at the same time. Like, well, not that they're exclusive, but sometimes there's this thought that like, oh, systems and organization. I'm like, but I love that. But I do that so that I can be more loose and I can be more fluid.
That's the goal.
Because most people would think, oh, Leisa, you're not really super detailed, but I am in certain ways.
Yeah. And the goal is to allow you to be as big as you are and still narrow it down, niche it down so someone can find you and actually work with you.
Love it. Love it. I know you had a couple more tips for us too. So what was your second?
Yeah, sure. Second one is to do their work for them. So I call these 30-word wonders, and you use it in your bio and you use it in your topics. So I spend a quality time doing keyword research for my topics, for my shows, everything like that. I use a tool. In fact, if you go to YouTube and search Marnie Swedberg, you'll be able to find it there, the trainings on it. But after you have your title and your topic and your keywords, then when you're doing your description of your topic, be sure to provide at the top 30 words that can be copied and pasted right into a program. And when you're doing your bio, have your long bio and include everything, but at the top have 30 words that can be copied and pasted right onto a poster or right into a program. Do their work for them. They will be so grateful, because it takes the planner a long time to narrow down your 2-page bio at LinkedIn to something that can be put onto a poster. Why not just do that? You know yourself better than anybody. So just do that for them, and they will be so grateful. I mean, it's just an easy thing for us to do, and it's hard for them.
I think even one of the tips that I'll share with in my academy is when you maybe you have a speaker sheet, which is a sales page for a speaker, if people aren't aware. So so you have your speaker sheet, it's designed, it's beautiful, it's gorgeous, it was in Photoshop or it was in InDesign or whatever, it was this gorgeous, like, beautiful piece of artwork that you have that you're so proud of. And you send that to the event planner, coordinator, which is fine, that's good. But then if they want to promote you in another area, like a newsletter or a flyer or a post or whatever, it's tricky to copy and paste out of that. And some of the times you cannot copy and paste out of that. So you have to, I always say, like, you need to have it in just a simple Word document so that you can copy paste, boom, so that they don't have to like retype your stuff, which is going to lead to possible typos and formatting issues and all this stuff. Like, again, so I'm on the same page with you. You got to like make it easy. Just have it in a document. Like, this is what and I find that I use that, and meeting planners use that more than my speaker sheet. The speaker sheet's really just to like in my opinion, like get you in the door, like get you further along the cycle, and it shows your credibility. But that's not when you get the yes, like, that's not what they need. They
it's
need
not too
your
helpful
stuff.
at that point.
Yeah,
Right.
need your stuff.
So what I always think of the speaker one sheet, I think of that like, okay, I've got a team of 8 people who are on my speaker search committee. I've got 60 speakers that I'm considering for this conference, and now we all have to decide. So I send out the one sheets, right? The PDF or whatever. I send out the one sheets. Everybody just at a glance has apples to apples. Everybody's format is a little different on a one sheet, but it's all inclusive there. You know, you've got a few of your topics, a few of your references, you've got what you look like, you know, where you're coming from, all that kind of stuff, a little of experience on your one sheets. So you've got your apples to apples comparison there on your one sheets, but then that is not what they're going to use once they book you. You're so right. And that's where your 30-word, I call them 30-word wonders, just create your 30-word wonders. It's kind of like your little elevator speech for who you are.
In a text, right? Yeah.
Exactly. And I put them I put my bio one actually is in my footer on my website at Marnie.com. On every single page in the bottom left corner, you're going to see my 30-word wonder.
Oh, wow. That's so cool.
Yeah. Because what we're trying to do, again, it's back to this congruency and branding. Let's not make them have to search and hunt for this stuff, you know, and make it super easy for them to find out how to work with you and what it would be like to work with you.
Love that. All right, cool. What's your third tip for us, Marnie?
Third one is focus on serving. And if you just keep asking yourself about every last piece of everything, how does this benefit them? Not what's in it for me, but what's in it for them. Then it's the whole thing. It's benefit driven instead of here's what I have available. It's here's what this can do for you.
Right.
And so if we keep changing everything into benefit statements, into benefit driven talk points, bullet points. I spoke here and my audience took away bullet points. You know, this is what's going to make you attractive to potential bookers, because they're going to look at that and go, oh my goodness, that's exactly what I need. Whereas when you're just telling them that you went to this school and you wrote this paper, you know, great information, but not too useful.
I was the third speaker in a 3-speaker series a while back. And one of the speakers, when they read her bio, it was like, like the Iliad, the Odyssey. I was like, okay, we need to we get it. You're amazing. You're brilliant. You've done all these, like every job, every company, I'm like, oh my gosh. Right.
Well, and honestly, you want both kinds. So what I tell my speakers at womenspeakers.com and what I do at my website is I put the 30-word wonder at the top, and then I have some dashes across, and then I do give that long bio. And it always surprises me that some of the planners, some of the MCs want to read the whole bio. And you know what? If that's their thing, okay, great. That's their thing, right? They're used to it and their audience is used to it. But most people really don't want to have to do that. They don't want to have to go through the entire thing to get the gist of who you are. They're trying to say, this is an expert who has come to talk to us us on this topic of importance to all of us. And here's why she's the person you want to listen to.
Absolutely.
That's all they're trying to do. And they're trying to kind of rev up the audience for you. And it's your job. It's actually our job to help them succeed at that.
Absolutely. One of the things I tell people, it's like your bio and your speaker introduction are like fraternal twins. Like they look like each other, but they're not exactly the same. Like, and so sometimes you have to, or I recommend rewriting or tweaking your introduction, because it's going to depend on who.
Well, for each event also. Absolutely.
Introduced to.
And pull in something about the topic. Like my intro for when I'm teaching a kitchen shortcuts segment is way different than my intro when I'm teaching a business leadership conference.
Absolutely. Yeah, exactly. Which totally makes sense. Right.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. And to your point about sometimes speaker, I used to have a really short, this is all stuff you learn along the way on the road, the road to many mistakes have been made on probably lots of people's journey.
Of course.
That's how would we learn.
All of us.
Yeah. And I would start with, I had a short bio that I would have them read. And then I would get asked, to your point, to your credit, like, oh, well, do you have something more? We want more information. I was like, really? Okay. So I had a longer one, but the first paragraph was like, I would say, like, you can stop right here if you don't want to, but this is, and then I finally changed it to where I have a bio that could be in the newsletter or whatever.
Right.
And then here's the intro that I stamped, approved, and whatnot. And again, sometimes people have to go off of that. That's fine.
The other benefit of having that long one too is that Google loves searching your site to see who you really are. And so that long one that includes all those extra words, your schools and all those things, that's great, because at that point now an alumni can find you. And, all of those things are really helpful. What isn't helpful is for you not to have that first 30-word wonder, because then it's up to the planner to figure it all out. And I just always say, if you're always thinking about them, do their work for them. What's in it for them? Just keep thinking about the planner. Keep thinking about the audience. And if you're always all about them, you'll be invited and you'll be invited back.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. You show up on time, you give your information.
Everything is about them.
Things. Yes.
It's not about the green room. It's not about the care package they have for you or not. It's not about any of that. It's about what can you do for them.
Absolutely. I love that. Oh my gosh. So is there anything else you want to share, Marnie, as we wrap up, and any other ways you want people to get a hold of you?
Well, definitely Marnie.com is my main site, and that's MARNIE.com. There's free stuff over there, as well as a paid membership for those who want to go deeper. And then womenspeakers.com. If you are a Christian woman communicator, we would love to help promote you over there at womenspeakers.com.
Absolutely.
And I think the last thing maybe to something you mentioned earlier is that this journey of being a public speaker, of being a communicator, being a leader, it is a process. And I like to think of it like a hike.
Yeah.
And like you're in the woods and you know where you're going. Kind of, you got this compass and you know where you're going, but every single step of the journey isn't so clear. I mean, you don't know when you're going to have to, climb over a little log or go around a little, obstruction, or you're going to meet a snake or whatever. You don't know any of that stuff. You don't know in advance. Right. So you're going on this hike and it's a journey, and where you're going, but every day of it, every step of it isn't so clear in advance. And so just to remember that there's a biblical principle that that there's enough light for your path, a lamp to your feet and a light for your path. And I think of that like a flashlight.
Yeah,
you've got your big goal out there in the future, and then you've got your flashlight for today, so you know what to do today. And that really helps to reduce a lot of the stress, because otherwise it can just be really overwhelming, so to try to think of all the social things you should be doing online, all the communications you should be having. But the most important thing is that you choose what's the most important thing for you to do today, and do that, and then do that consistently, and that will help to grow your speaking business.
I agree with that. It's kind of like looking up in the distance and then also looking down just what you have to focus on right now, what's right in front of me. But there's
because if you just always look in the distance, it's those big mountains out there, and they're just too intimidating.
Yeah. Well, and you could trip over the log in front of you and never get
Absolutely,
there. So you gotta, kind of be doing both at the
right.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Thank you so much. I'm so excited that you and I met. And
I know. Me too.
we're here helping so many people,
Yeah.
and separately, but now we get to do it together. And I love that. And for those of you who are tuning into our show, make sure and subscribe on our YouTube channel, and and do other things too. I mean, you know,
get involved.
Just the fact that I remember to ask you to subscribe is a miracle. So I'm learning. See, I'm learning as we go. So we are, my goal right now is 100 subscribers, and then we'll go from there. Yeah. So thank you, everybody. And we will see you on the next episode of Rock Your Talk. Bye.
Bye.